On Signature Sports this evening, we will be engaging Mr. Okoye Obumneme, a sports analyst, on the verifying if this is factual or not, that Nigerians shine abroad in sports but fail locally. Good evening, Obumneme.
Good evening, Angie. Thank you for having me.
Moving on, Nigerian athletes continue to shine abroad. Footballers, we have names of those who have made the nation proud, playing for foreign clubs. But when it comes to our soil, to actually represent the country, the case becomes different. Are we just saying this, or has it been established that Nigerians shine abroad in sports but do not contribute much when it comes to Nigeria?
Thank you for the question. You can't write it off that is established that they shine abroad. All right. You can't say that it's far-fetched because
Could you please
Nigeria,
place your phone on landscape so that we picture you correctly?
right? What's it say? Is it better now? I'm using my laptop, so
Uh, all right, thank you. Go ahead now.
yeah. So it's not the our if you start with the Nigerian Premier League football, Nigerian Football League, the unattractiveness of the league is being established, has been established that the league is not unattractive. Um, you could say that players, everyone wants to play in Europe, right? No one wants to, the grassroots football is, there are no sponsors for grassroots football, right? You could say that it's generally unattractive. There is no motivation for up and coming, footballers to have a chance to ply their trade, right? So there are a lot of reasons for people not making it here locally, all right? But they could make it if they travel or venture to cross the seas, all right? And head over to Europe or foreign lands.
So basically, it's for economic reasons, right?
A host of reasons, economic reasons. You could say corruption, all right, of the, a lot of reasons. Um, Ministry of Sports not paying, giving a keen eye to our talent, right? And there are just a whole lot of reasons that, if I can't exhaust the points, if I start enumerating them, right? The key, the key focus should be on our grassroots sports, right? The local sports. There is no sponsorship, there is no motivation for up and coming talent to come out and showcase themselves. Everyone wants to just travel and just make to where the grass is greener.
Are you saying that we do not have enough talents, or that there are these systemic issues in Nigeria that has been working against our players and athletes?
We have talent. I usually like to use the Nigerian Premier League as a kind of like a yardstick to, okay, let's say you want to play for, you want a call up for the AFCON, for instance. Players that are usually called up are European-based players, all right? So there is usually not a chance for the local leagues, the local players that play in Ayimba, Rangers. It's just a few of them that are added to the squad list, right? So there is zero motivation to actually be a footballer in Ayimba, all right? So you're saying, okay, I'm going to travel, I'm trying to travel and play in Europe so that I could get an opportunity to be called up for AFCON, all right? So it's usually not just a lack of talent, but a lack of exposure per se, all right? People want to be seen to be involved, right? But the issue is there is no chance for people to be seen. A lot of players, um, people just see the ones that are shining abroad that, are racking numbers, that their stats are high, the likes of Osimhen, Victor Orban, um, you know, Boniface, strikers, that play Europe. No one wants to look at the grassroots football and get talent. There are a lot of people that play football here, and no one wants to just tap into that sector.
How best would you assess the role of managers or sponsors in helping, Nigerians footballers shine both abroad and locally?
Um, I'd say, um, first of all, our scouting system is really poor or is rigged. I mean, people pay money and get fleeced of their money, and uh, people just try to travel, any means they get to just, it's easier abroad. The scouts are, you know, next door. You could just go and register and apply your trade, you know, show your talent, harness your talent. You get your do trials. There are limited scouting agencies in Nigeria, first of all. I'd say that the scouting agencies actually even charge money. They go far as charging money, and people pay money to be seen. All right. So what happens to the people that could actually play but do not have money to, you know, pay these scouts, all right, to travel and all that. Right. So I think it's systemic. The root of the issue is the scouting system. There is no proper scouting system to see these underground talents that are hidden in the society.
I chanced upon a phrase recently, match fixing. Is there anything like that? How does it operate? Does it also work against our players when they are here playing locally?
Um, yes, our league has been, in quotation, has been, been victim to various allegations of match fixing, and it has been kind of like a gray area, and it causes a lot of endorsements or sponsorship to want to leave the Premier League, right? So it's look if you look at our prize money, let's say our prize money now is the Nigerian Premier League prize money is around 200 million, all right? It should be more than that, all right? Because there are a lot of players and there are a lot of staff and all that have to get a share of this. So the profitability of the league depends on sponsorship, all right? So if there are allegations of match fixing and dubiousness and all that, it affects sponsorship, all right? And there have been allegations. I cannot, enforce or, I cannot say or speak further on these allegations, but, there are stuff like that that occur.
There is a particular scenario I'd like us to look at, and that's the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I'm sure you will agree with me that Nigeria performed abysmally in that outing. Let's look at some of the issues that would have, some of these persons are stars. Some of them eventually, after the Olympics, played for some other teams and they did well. So what are those things that worked against Nigeria during Paris 2024 outing?
Um, it all boils down to attractiveness, right? A lot of our players perform in the junior stages. They want to shine so that in the senior stages they could leave. All right. So it's the Paris was not far from that. The Paris outing was not far from that. I think we didn't get a medal in that outing, the Olympic outing. The football was abysmal, and it all boiled down to our Ministry of Sports. All right. There is no motivation. There is still no motivation at this point in time to say, okay, these are the talents that we have. Let's help this talent to prosper and to get more medals in future Olympic Games. The football aspect of it was poor. Um, Players that we had they just wanted an opportunity for them to be scouted by foreign teams, and they leave the Nigerian soil. So it's all about profitability and marketability. All right. There's still that layer of unattractiveness that the Nigerian Premier League has and the Nigerian Football Association has. All the players want to leave the country to ply their trade in Europe. Anywhere is better at this point. Anywhere is better than Nigeria at this point to our players. So I can't tell them that, or I can't say that it's a wrong move because everyone wants to make money and better their lives. And these players are most of them come from slums and ghetto, and once they have a means, they leave the country. So I won't put it to them that they shouldn't look for greener pastures because when they look for greener pastures and they make their name, the same Nigeria that didn't look upon them will call them back, give them a call up to come and play their drum, play for us.
Let's look at something else. If, for instance, we decide to, each time there's an international outing, we bring in talents, local talents, maybe from academy or even from schools, or from clubs that are playing locally in Nigeria. Do you think they will outperform those who already are applying their trade abroad? They already have clubs, as against these ones that would also want the scouts to look their way. Do you think that could help Nigeria in terms of
Yeah, it's very possible. I know footballers personally that, if given chance, they'd outperform a ton of these players that perform for us, that play for us, right? It's all about going down to the grassroots. Obviously, you need to polish these players. These players are not polished. Training, um, tactical analysis of their play. You could do all this and you polish these players. And when you present them, they could beat these players that play abroad. I could guarantee it's all about going down to the grassroots, looking at these players, you know, giving them chance to play and perform, and where to polish them, where to improve them, and they could stand head to head with these players. A lot of players that have come from the grassroots. Most of these players have come from the grassroots from Nigeria, apart from the likes of Ademola Lookman and all that were born abroad. A host of players were born and we are found in grassroots. They came up, applied their trade. The same thing if we actually go to the grassroots and get these players, we could brush them up and they could go head to head with these players abroad.
now? Something came to mind, and that is the issue of local coaches as against foreign coaches. We've had conversations around this over and over again, but does it have an effect on the way and manner that our foreign players, I'm talking about football now, soccer, our foreign players deliver when it comes to playing for Nigeria?
Yes, it has a very significant effect on the way our players play. Most of our coaches, Nigerian coaches, if not all, at this point, they have no training, right? Zero to no training. The same with our referees, right? There are tests and training that they have to go to, that they have to improve on the tactics, their football knowledge, and all that. So the saying that our Nigerian coaches stand a chance against foreign coaches that go to school and improve their ball knowledge and knowledge of the game, tactical knowledge is unfounded. All right. So the footballers, the coaches that we have here, just like the footballers, are kind of raw. All right. They have no training, no formal training, no formal expertise. But the foreign coaches that we hire are trained, and they have expertise. Have coached ton of clubs, even if it's 40-year club abroad, they have this training that they go to and they achieve their licensing and they come and coach our players, right? So saying that Nigerian coaches that have no form of licensing or just coach the grassroots teams could stand a chance against these foreign coaches that have licensing, even if it's a B license, they could come and imbibe their knowledge on our players, our grassroots players, and we can do well.
You talked about exposure and polishing. For those Nigerians who started their trade here and got to the point where they had to relocate and play for foreign clubs, they started from here. Probably they got there and got better. Don't we have the kind of, are there really differences between what we do here in grooming our players as against what happens elsewhere?
Yeah, there is a very wide gap. There's a very wide gap between training here and training abroad. A very substantial gap. All right. If you start with the trials that teams, that junior players go through abroad, an average player here cannot even survive a pre-training, a pre-trial in a lower league in, let's say, Sweden. All right. The ball work and the rigorous training that they go through a lot of training. All right. So it's not, you cannot compare it to an average player here that plays in, let's say, in the sand, to a player that plays under harsher conditions. All right. More rigorous training is given to these players. All right. Um, they have a lot of, should I say, um, activities they go through that improve their stamina, their agility, their mental prowess. You cannot, an average player in Nigeria here cannot stand a junior player abroad, all right, because of the training and the activities they go through to prepare them for football. All right. So it's all about the investment that the Ministry of Sports has made in the sector. Right. It's a team that has a junior team does not have the basic amenities to support this group of players, these small young players that could just try and improve their gameplay their mental, their agility, their ball work. But abroad, their instruments, their tools, the activities that they do that improves their mental awareness, their ball work, and all that. So you can't compare the two climes. It's there's a wide gap.
Apart from talent development, welfare, sports administration issues, do we also have cultural interference working against our talent? Those that played in the days of the just past Christian Chukwu and the likes. You don't play football and anybody takes you serious. Is it still lingering, such notion about those who are engaged in sporting activities? Briefly, our time is actually up.
No, this is actually a part that I support. There's a positive sign. The footballers now, this is the best time in history to play football, right? The cultural aspect of it is abound. Footballers are abound now. You could travel and apply your trade anywhere. Some scouts still reach out to Nigerian players and scout Nigerian players, and the cultural part of it is very, very. This is the best time to actually play your trade. Unlike before, it's easier to be seen now. Social media has aided everything to be. It's easier to be seen and heard, to apply your trade and get a new contract and get clubs around the world. So this is the best time to actually be a footballer.
Thank you very much, Obumneme Okoye, sports analyst, for joining us on Signature Sports.
Thank you too for having me.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.